How's it going, everybody? Little Chris back with the second episode of Pool Talk, and I'm very pleased to tell you that I'm going to be interviewing my teacher. This is Wayne that I met about 20 years ago. I couldn't have been no more than 19, 20 years old or something like that. And funny story was that I asked this guy to gamble. I'd only been playing for 6 months. He literally looked at me and said, "You don't want to gamble me." But I said, let's do this anyway. $5 a game. And I kid you not, 30 minutes later, he's beating me out of $60. I paid this guy his money, I shook his hand, and somehow we became the best friends ever since. Wayne, thanks for joining me for this episode of Pool Talk.
Roger that.
So, just like what I did with everything else, I'm pretty sure people are going to want to know, how long have you been playing pool and what got you started?
You know, I started in a barber shop. You know, we used to get a haircut and the pool tables would be there. And, you know, while you're waiting to get your haircut, you start playing pool, just banging balls around. And I found that to be really enjoyable.
Really?
Yeah, it was fun. And my dad used to be like, "You can't make this ball," or whatever the case may be. Then I started enjoying it, you know, dad, son time. So I guess that's how it really started. And I've been playing off and on ever since. You know, being in the Army, well, I was in the Army at that time.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you, right. And during that time, off and on, that was my getaway. And then I started, you know, benefiting from it. You know, tournaments, you know, you win a little money here, you meet a lot of different people from a lot of different areas. So I started liking it.
Nice.
Yeah, now, you know, start sticking with it a little bit.
All right. I see you got some artillery there. What you got there in the case?
Hey, speaking of artillery, red legs. I got a Mucci in there, an old Mucci original that I've been playing with forever. And whenever...
This is the same damn cue he beat me out of $60 about 20 years ago. A good old Mucci original.
And whenever, you know, it gets worn down, I send it in and get it refurbished. And it comes back out. I'll never get rid of this stick.
How long have you had it?
I had this stick about 17 years. And I bought this stick off a guy that just got busted.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And he was like, "Hey, I'll sell you my stick." And hey, I bought it from him and I kept it ever since.
Nice.
And I've had multiple sticks, you know, but I always go back to that same Mucci.
Yeah, same with me. I've shot with a variety of cues throughout my years.
Yeah.
I heard you say tournaments earlier, so obviously you play some tournaments. What kind of tournaments have you played in, and have you played in any leagues? And if you have, what's your skill level?
Right now, I'm a skill level 9 in APA.
Okay, for 9-ball?
9-ball and 8-ball or 7. I play a lot in Oklahoma City,
Okay.
Lawton, Oklahoma, wherever I travel, because I do a lot of traveling. Kansas sometime, El Paso. So you name it, I've probably been there. And just me and this cue, you know? That's all I do, you know?
Well, hell, I mean, in the, you'd say probably 30 plus years that you've been playing pool, maybe?
About 20. We'll say that, but off and on, you know, deploying and...
Yeah, there's obviously breaks
Yeah.
in between all that, but clearly I would have to think you have to have a nickname. Someone has nicknamed you something at some point in time. What would that be?
Oh, man. They called me all kinds of...
What's the most popular one?
I'd rather not say.
All right, fair enough. Well, then I tell you what. Let's try to wrap this up then with the same thing that I wrapped up my interview with. Is like, what is probably the most memorable moment that you can ever have in this game, whether it was a tournament, gambling, or whatever else? That's something that has happened in your pool career that you would probably never forget.
Oh boy.
The most popular one, because I know we all have plenty of them.
I was in Vegas. and I was playing this old man, and we was racing the 7, and he had me down 6-0.
Oh gosh.
And he was braking, winter break, and he broke, and he never saw the table again.
So he broke
Yeah.
dry,
Yeah.
and then you put a 7-pack on him.
Technically, yes.
Wow.
You got a few 9-ball breaks in there, but it broke his heart. And the funny thing about it was, I had beat him that whole night, and we was racing the 7 for 300. And,
Race 7 for 300.
Yeah, and he was real cocky, had a lot of money, and that ended his night. I thought he was gonna tear that whole casino up, and he called me lucky, called me all kinds of names, but I bought the money back to Lawton, Oklahoma.
Oh man, that's too good. That's too good.
Yeah.
Well-
But one good thing about playing pool, you meet some of the best people in the world too. You know, like me and you. You know, you and I, we've been friends forever.
At least 20 years.
Yeah. And I got friends in all over the place. And wherever I go, I know somebody. You know, not just Army-wise, just by playing pool. And once they know you forever. No matter where you go,
Right.
how many years you've been away, once you go back, they remember your name. So when you go out there and you playing, make sure you make good friends. Make sure you treat everybody with respect, and you'll be all right.
I mean, clearly you're going to run into some bad apples every once in a while.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But you know, those bad apples always end up, you know, on the wrong side of the law, or something like that, or trying to make a quick buck and get out there and get themselves caught up. That's life.
Right.
So you try to stay away from that. And if you feel like something is wrong when you're in the game, don't get in that game.
Right.
You know, you'll know really quick, you know. Be like, hey, maybe easy money, but this may be the guy that you may have to hurt, or he may have to hurt you, or you just stay away from that. If you don't feel right, don't do it.
Cool.
Regardless of what the situation is. And you'll last a long time in this pool game. I don't think I ever quit.
Well, cool. So, I mean, just a little back history. Like I said, Wayne was in the Army. We're here in Texas, but he lives in Oklahoma. So every time he comes down here, we obviously try to meet up and square off against one another to see if the student has ever become the teacher. And as of right now, we are actually tied. Because because the last time he came down here, I actually beat the crap out of him. But this time, he beat the crap out of me. So all I gotta say is, Wayne, it's always a pleasure to see you. Thank you so much for doing this interview with me.
Yeah.
If you guys like this, give it a thumbs up. And of course, if you want to do an interview with me as well, feel free to reach out for me. And just don't forget to subscribe. Take care, everybody.
Peace in the Middle East.